People, you see certain things sometimes, and you really just stop and look and think, really? This is one of them. So this morning I woke up, as you do. You wake up, have a quick look online, see if there's any boxing news that you missed overnight. And I can't, for the love of me, I can't even remember if it was on Instagram or on X. It was one of them. And actually, link to the Instagram will be in the comment section. Go over there and give me a follow. You can see what your boy gets up to, and sometimes in his day-to-day life, and some behind the scenes with that A&G man. Of course, just plugging it there. But I can't remember if it was on Instagram or X. It was one or the other. And they were saying that, some page was saying that there's a big fight in place for one Hughie Fury in the month of December. Now, Hughie Fury has recently been fighting on GBM shows with Izzy Asif. And let's be frank, he hasn't exactly been setting the world alight. I mean, his last fight was against Dan Garber. I say that because I see it here on this Seconds Out article. And he didn't set the world alight. And he's had a couple of fights since he was out of the ring for a good, 3 years? From 2021, I think he fought Pavel Sowers or someone like that, and he's been out of the ring ever since. Well, he was out of the ring ever since. And he came back and he looked a shell of himself. He really did. He looked like his legs were gone. And bear in mind, Huey Fury's never really taken a beating in there, but it looked like his legs were gone. He just looked old. And I think Huey Fury is only 30, 31. He's not that old, like certainly not for a heavyweight. And I was thinking, okay, big fight. Who is it going to be? Not thinking, obviously, who's penciled in to fight in December. Well, Seconds Out are reporting, and again, this is rumoured, but you know the way these rumours have a habit of going, right? Says here, it's heavily rumoured that Moses Itauma's next fight will be against former world title challenger Hughie Fury. Fury last fought against Dan Garber in April, but hasn't fought a world-ranked opponent since his defeat to Alexander Povetkin in 2019. I remember that fight. Wasn't that on the undercard of Luke Campbell versus Vasily Lomachenko? I think I remember that. I actually did a review of the fight. It was one of the first videos I ever did on the channel back in the day that done really good views by the standards back then. Now, that's a fairly standard post-fight video, but back then it was like, wow, I think I got like 18k views or something on that video. It was crazy. But I have to say, right, that I'm a little bit, I don't know what to think of this. I don't know what to make of this. Because Hughie Fury every time Hughie Fury in his prime stepped up, he fought Joseph Parker in Manchester way back in 2017. That was on YouTube pay-per-view. That lasted for all of one fight. And a lot of people feel as though he was unlucky that night, that he did enough to win. I certainly didn't feel that because he ran around the ring for 12 rounds, didn't want to engage Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker was the only one doing any aggression. So how do you score a fight to someone he's running around the ring? You can't. So he lost that fight. He was beaten fairly soundly by Kubrat Pulev in Bulgaria. I think that was in 2018. And he was cutting that fight. He was beaten soundly by Kubrat Pulev. And then he lost to Povetkin in 2019. That was a winnable fight for him as well. I remember that because Povetkin gassed quite noticeably in the mid-rounds. And Fury, lacking that said thing, Fury didn't go and put his foot in the gas. And it's something that he's really been unwilling to do throughout the course of his career. He's only really ever done it when he's been in there with very overmatched opponents. And even now, when I saw him against Dan Garber, and there was someone else, was it Dobashenko or someone like that he fought a journeyman, and he really didn't look good again. Actually, do you know what? I'll get his box rec here, because good old box rec will give us some insight on it. But I distinctly remember him facing some journeyman. He's 31 years old, 30 and 3 with 17 KOs, right? He fought, Dobashenko. He fought Dobashenko back in, I was even longer, wow. I thought he fought in 23, so he fought Christian Hammer in October 2016. He didn't fight again until April last year. And I remember the Dobashenko fight, didn't look good at all in that fight. Fought Patrick Conte. Don't think I seen that one. I did see that Christian Chun one. I remember that, where that was touch and go as to whether Hughie Fury would win that fight. He looked awful in that fight. That guy has a record of 9-1. What's his record now? Actually, it was 9-1, and BoxRec is deciding to be lovely and slow, so it's not going to load for me. Okay, but long and the short of it, that guy wasn't very good. He's 9-2 now. He hasn't fought since that Hughie Fury defeat. Okay, interesting. But then he fought Dan Garber in the York Hall, and he looked, I want to say he did look a little bit better in that fight, but still, man. And he's heavy, Hughie Fury. I mean, Hughie Fury in his prime was in, sometimes even in the 220s. In fact, he was in the 210s when he fought George. Oh, that was 10 years ago. Okay, fair enough. But he used to weigh in the 230s religiously. Now he's in the high 240s, 250s. And he's, as I said, he's just looked a shell of himself. So him against Itauma, what it would do is it would likely bring Itauma around, because Hughie Fury, for all his flaws, he does have a good chin. That's why I'm amazed that he's not more offensively minded, because yeah, you can be defensively good, but he's taken shots from Parker, from Povetkin, and he's taken shots from Kubrat Pulev. He's been in there with big punchers, and he's never really looked phased. So, you know, he's got a decent set of whiskers. So he would bring Moses Itauma rounds, but I just think Itauma would light Hughie Fury up again. If your perception of Hughie Fury is the Hughie Fury who fought Joseph Parker, although it wasn't a compelling performance, he had very good legs. He had very good legs, a decent jab, and decent counter-punching ability. I don't think we have that Hughie Fury anymore. You got to remember, Hughie Fury has been very sickly throughout the course of his career. It's hampered him on a lot of fight dates. He's pulled out a load of fights. And see, that's another reason why I'd be a bit worried if I was Frank Warren about matching Hughie Fury with Moses Itauma. When I say a bit worried, understand that I don't mean, oh, I'd be a bit worried that he could beat him. No, I'd be making Itauma resounding favourite in this fight. I would. But I'd be a bit worried in a sense of, okay, what if he pulled out? What if we decide, let's do Hughie Fury versus Moses Itauma. We get to a couple of weeks before a fight. Hughie Fury, look, a tree is known by his fruits. I have to say it. Hughie Fury has a record of pulling out of fights. He's pulled out a load of fights in the past. And he pulled out of Michael Hunter twice. Oh, pause. God, good God. He's pulled out of Michael Hunter fights twice in the past. And they never happened in the end. But you know what I mean. I'd be worried. I'd be risky. If I was a promoter, I'd be thinking, what if he pulls out of this fight as well? So, Hughie Fury, the rumoured opponent. Listen, if they did do this fight and it did happen, then I would be saying Moses Itauma should win. He'll be brought rounds. The Hughie Fury I've been seeing of late probably doesn't make it. If it's a 12-rounder, he's making it into the mid-rounds before succumbing to the pressure, I fully believe. But it's an interesting fight. Frank Warren, who promotes Tyson Fury, obviously there's been a bit of a rift over the last couple of years between Tyson and was essentially from side John to side Peter. There's been a bit of a rift going back for several years. In fact, really going back to the Joseph Parker fight, where Joseph Parker went in as the opponent. Well, he was the champion, but you get what I mean. He was kind of treated as the opponent. Tyson was in Hughie Fury's corner, and, well, he left it in Joseph Parker's corner. And really, there's not really been much at all, really, contact on the surface level anyway between the two since then. So it's kind of sad, really, in a way. But yeah, Hughie Fury, the rumoured opponent for Moses Itauma in December. You happy, upset, indifferent? What do you think? Do you think Hughie Fury still has it? I certainly, based on his last performances, I would say that's gone the way of the dodo bird. Extinct. Those legs are gone. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. If you could, smash that like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Until next time, people. Peace.